in a microphone, so it sounded better, but never mind. Let's have a look, see if this is actually coming through now in a reasonable way. I might have had to have closed down. Oh, do you know what? Nothing's coming through. Nothing's coming through. God, this is painful, isn't it? It should really be take 3, shouldn't it? Morning Brew hasn't started. Come on. Waiting for Politics Social. Hello, take 3, says Diz. Yeah, it's not actually started. Why is it not started? And we're back. Oh, good. Yes. Hello, One Angry Pagan. Yes, and the screen is right now. Sorry about that. I think it was because I tried to do a scheduled live. Normally, it just makes you sort of go, all right, go live now. And you're like, oh, okay then. Okay, I'll go live now. Even though it's like you're holding your phone in your hands and it's like looking up your nose and you're like, yeah, thanks for bearing with me there. 3 times charm. Yeah, I should really say take 3, shouldn't it? Hello, long time no speak, says Liam. Hello, Liam. Hello, all. So it's Veg Pie. Morning. Once more. Hello, everybody. How you all doing this fine morning? Sorry about the old stream there, which, sorry, you know what? It's just like, I can't do a stream if it's going to look all wonky. I just can't. Right, let's start again. I was thinking of plugging my microphone in. Should I plug my microphone in? Well, that might make it worse, but it might make it better. It might make it so much better. Like, it might be the best thing we've ever done. What do you reckon? Should we plug my microphone in? See what happens. Might drain my battery really fast. I don't know. We will see. You can probably hear me okay anyway. So this is probably overkill. But let's have a look. Let's see if this works. Let's see if we plug that in. There we go. No, that's ridiculous. I'm not doing that. Go away, microphone. Anyway, I hope I haven't fucked the sound now. Right, let's start from the top. Hello and welcome to Morning Brew with me, Graham Hughes on Politics Social. It is Monday, the 1st of September 2025, and we're going to start as we mean to go on this month with dodgy internet and streaming from my phone. Got in phone, lost on laptop. I deserve a medal for finding the stream. Yes, Gabby Arnold. Well done, my friend, for finding the stream. Yeah, I should have really called it take 3, shouldn't I? But we're here now, and that's what's important. Liam says time flies when the world is run by dictators. Yeah, by absolute dicks and taters. I mean, the amount of lunacy that is going on in the world right now is really quite just stunning. It's stunning. It is absolutely stunning, the amount that they're getting away with, more than anything, which is what fucks me off. So yeah, we're going to have a look at the papers, today's papers. We're going to talk about what's in the papers. Now, obviously, it's going to be backwards for you. Sorry about that. You missed the chaos, Leapshin. Welcome now, though. Graham, dicks and taters are useful, though, that says Chris C. They are. They do things. Okay, so I'm going to go over to the papers. And first of all, we're going to go to the Daily Mail. This is the Daily Mail. I know it's backwards, but this is the Daily Mail here. And if we scroll down, Labour civil war fueling Rayner's sleaze crisis. So just like they went absolutely troppo bananas about Keir Starmer having a beer, and then Angela Rayner, remember she had a house in Manchester, and it was like telling me the Mail is backwards by about 80 years, 100 years, I think. But yes, they're now going after Angela Rayner again, after going after her for the house that she had in 2007 with her partner, now husband, or ex-partner, or ex-husband. I don't know. But like, sleaze, apparently. This is nothing compared with Boris Johnson's reign of terror, when he went around, what was it? He got a £800,000 loan brokered by a guy who then he gave a job as what, chairman of the BBC, was it? Yeah, the ghost of Thatcher, isn't that just fartage? Yes, it is. Because we need to have a picture of someone from the family on the front cover of every newspaper. There's a woman there smiling, knowing that one day she will be queen. That's Queen Camilla there. She's on the front page. She saw off an attacker on the train by hitting him with her shoe. So there you go. The sleaze crisis, the manufactured sleaze crisis engulfing Angela Rayner, is being fueled by a Labour civil war over who should succeed Keir Starmer. All right, mate, if you say so. Hi, Graham. Have some money towards your placement into webs and also being awesome. Oh, thank you very much. That is very, very kind of you. I'm going to just give you a little heart here on my laptop. Where's chat disconnected. See, my laptop is using my hotspot on my phone, but also the kids are using the hotspot on my phone as well. So yeah, bit of a nightmare all round. Come on, it's decided to disconnect. It's disconnected from my phone. No internet. Right, right, try and connect again. Right, one moment, and I'll be back with you. I'll be back in the house. I'll be back in the room. Right, let's just refresh this page. There we go, Katrina. Get a little heart next to your super chat there. £10 super chat. Have some money towards it. So the BT Open Reach guy came to this morning at 8 o'clock, and he looks at and he goes, "Have you got your red light on your box on the box?" I'm like, I can tell you what's wrong with it without having to run any diagnostics. And I sort of point to the cable, go see, and he went, "Oh," and I went, "Can you splice it together?" He went, "No, I've got to get a whole new cable." And I went, "Have you got a cable?" And he went, "Yeah, I've got a cable, but I haven't got a cherry picker, and I need a cherry picker to go up to the mast there and put the new cable on the mast." I was like, "Oh, for God's sake." There's a Union Jack on the mast at the moment, so yeah, I'm hoping he's going to take that down because it's unsightly. I mean, you know, I love the Union Jack. I really do. I think it's the most beautiful. Not beautiful. That's a bad word. I think it's the most stunning design. One of the most stunningly designed flags in the world. It is a really cool looking flag. Unlike the St. George's Cross, which is boring as fuck, but the it's like an explosion, like a colour explosion. The Union flag, and yeah, unfortunately, it's been taken on by some dickheads who have just gone up lampposts and put like, you know, flags up everywhere, yeah, they don't look very good. Do you know what I mean? They look like a dirty dish rag. They're just kind of like hanging there at half mast. It's kind of depressing. Anyway, thank you very much to Sarah Davis for the £2 super chat. That's very kind of you. Sarah says, "Hi Graham." Hi Sarah, how are you doing? And Twitch chat is John McGowan. Who cut through Graham's fibre optic cable? It was a squirrel. It was a squirrel with a pair of secateurs. He was cutting a bush. I was cutting through a bush and I got the snip. Anyway, so yeah, sleaze crisis. Sorry, I'm back onto the mail. Yeah, the mail picture of Camilla, and then all this stuff over here is all about sleaze. There's sleaze, nice and sleazy does it. Labour sleaze. I mean, again, trying to make a story out of something that would be, if a Tory did this, it would be absolutely par for the course. Like, if she avoided £40,000 of stamp duty, right, by declaring her new home her second and primary residence, right? That is something that so many Tories have done in the past, but it pales, my friends, it pales into insignificance next to the fact that that Robert Jenrick, who's degenerate, who is planning to become the next leader of the Conservative Party, he once gave Richard Desmond, what was it? Was it 40,000 tax break? No, it was 40 million. 40 million pounds that was supposed to go to Tower Hamlets in London, but didn't. One of the poorest boroughs in London. Well, one of the most, not poorest, I think one of the most poverty stricken. So there's some rich areas of it, like most places in London, I think. UK Mars Adelaide. Thank you very much for the £5 super chat, UK Mars Adelaide. That's very kind of you. You say, let's deport the racist refuck supporters, increase our country's average IQ. Yes, that's a good idea. Do you know what, though? This is quite sad. I was watching a video yesterday and they were talking about demographics, and apparently left-wing people are having less children and right-wing people are having the same amount of children. Why is my computer going crazy? Oh, it's Nord. Nord's trying to filter something. Go away, Nord. Don't want you. Don't need you at the moment. I'm not trying to send a message on something. I love this. There's like hardly anything running on the computer, and yet it's it needs to get the fan running. It's getting really hot underneath. There's nothing open. It's just your chat. It's just your chat and the papers. There you go. It's taken a lot. It's taken a lot. What else have we got here? I'm listening to Deutschland by Rammstein. I like the song Rammstein by Rammstein, in which he shouts Rammstein down the microphone quite a lot. Deutschland, the Chibs, I hope it's better soon. Oh, Chibs, you're not feeling so good. And then Davian, of course, the St. George's on the George's Cross is boring. It was designed by bleeding foreigners, wasn't it? Brown foreigners too, says Davian. Just like, well, I think it's nice that these people are showing solidarity with the patron saints of Palestine and Portugal and Catalonia and Aragon, I think, and Genoa and Georgia and a load of other countries. Ethiopia, apparently. Ethiopia, according to Wikipedia. Patron saint of Ethiopia, St. George. Which is nice, welcoming refugees from Ethiopia, maybe from the Darfur region, welcoming them with their country's patron saint's flag. That's nice, isn't it? And, support for the Palestinian cause. Anyway, so we're going to go over to the Times now. And the Times is saying, first of all, at the top here, it says Camilla was assaulted as a teenager, which is from an extract of a book that's coming out. We've also got this remarkable coincidence that Rayna's inheritance tax bill was, the value of the property was 650,000, which is the exact amount, the minimum amount allowed before tax becomes payable. The house owned by the Deputy Prime Minister and her ex-husband was valued at 650,000, which is the maximum amount allowed for a house to be inherited. And Jermaina's in her 40s, mate. Like, what are you talking about? I'm sure when she, shuffles off this mortal coil in 50 years' time, the house is going to be worth something different. Yeah. This is the weirdest headline. I know it's backwards, right? But it says, remarkable coincidence, let Rayna avoid inheritance tax bill. But the house owned by the Deputy Prime Minister was valued at 650,000. Did her husband die? Did she die? Did someone die? Can someone explain this to me? Please, because I'm not feeling very clever this morning. This is weird. Okay, so has she died? Did somebody die and give her the house, and she didn't have to pay inheritance tax because it was valued at 650,000? So no. She bought the house in Ashton-under-Lyne for £375,000 9 years ago. I don't really understand. I don't get what the point is here. The price will go up, but they still own it in 50 years' time. The price will go up, or do you know what? Maybe in 50 years' time they won't own it. Maybe they're selling it, and it's valued at that because they're selling it. Maybe. I'm sorry, I just don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. Capital gains. No. They're talking about inheritance. The word is there, inheritance. Like inheritance. They're trying to make a story out of the fact. Oh, did you see that their house is worth exactly the threshold for inheritance tax? Did someone inherit it? No. Did someone die? No. Is someone going to have to pay any tax on this in the next inheritance tax on it? No, not unless someone else buys it and then dies quickly. Okay. Is that so people buy it? Like people go, well, it's worth 650,000, so happy. Bloody hell, the cost of property in this country. I love the way they just treat that as normal. Like you bought a house, how many years ago? 9 years ago, and it's almost doubled in value. I mean, Jesus Christ. Okay, so, and then we've got some more bullshit from Jack Straw, which says leaving the ECHR is not a threat to Ulster peace, which is Jack Straw strangely wading in on this. According to a report backed by Jack Straw, a study by Policy Exchange has said that leaving the ECHR will be fine. It'll be fine for Northern Ireland. Just like Brexit was fine. It was fine, for Northern Ireland. There'd be no problem. We can have an extra border somehow without there being an actual border there. I don't know how that works. No one knows how it works, but whatever. Yuri Nemfektinov, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. The point is to make the Gammons more angry. Yeah. But they're already so angry, aren't they? Yuri, thank you so much for the super chat. They're already so, aren't they angry? Aren't they just angry? They're just angry all the time, aren't they? Like a man with a fork in a world of soup. That's what they are. Okay, so back to the papers. We've got a lady. We have a lady, an attractive lady on the front cover of the newspaper. Her name is Alicia Vikander, and she's at the premiere of The Wizard of the Kremlin about the rise of Putin. Poo in a tin. It's Putin. And there's a new pill. This is referred to on some of the other papers this morning. There is a new pill that's just come out. Not to stop you getting up the duff, but to stop you having a heart attack. So there you go. That is a brilliant saying, Krauser. Yeah, it is, Yuri. It's from Noel Gallagher. He was referring to his brother and his brother's anger issues. And I just love it. It's my favorite. It's my favorite. Noel Gallagher's a twat. Don't get me wrong, but he comes out with some really great turns of phrase now and again. Okay, so Miss Paula Thomas has just dropped £5 in the Super Chat fund. Thank you very much, Miss Paula Thomas. Dear right-wing press, you're clutching at thin straws. Stop it. It makes you look desperate. Yes, it does indeed. Painfully desperate. Yeah. I'm just going to have a little bit of a drink. Sorry, I'm getting a bit croaky. Martin Harrow, I'm still angry about Brexit. Consistently angry. Does that make me? Oh, sorry, it faded. It faded the picture. Does that make me a racist? No, Martin. No. You see, the difference is you're pissed off about something that's actually a real, tangible thing that's fucked a lot of people's lives and destroyed families and friendships and entire communities. And our standing in the world. It's destroyed so many things. It's destroyed people's trust in the UK. It's destroyed inward investment in the UK. There's a lot of problems with Brexit, right? What the Gam-Gams are upset about is always mythical, made-up shit that doesn't actually exist. But they think it does, so it upsets them. It makes them very angry and sad. Very sadly angry. Angrily sad. Grrr. It's just not fair, they scream, as Angela Vayner, her offspring, avoid paying a tax that they won't have to pay for another 50 years because you got to inherit something. Do they think that like inheritance tax means you can just give it to your kids now? Got to die, got to cark it, mate, got to cark it. Considering the media never seems to actually write facts or investigate what they print, can we start planting made-up stories so the Crayola dribbling gammons literally explode? That would be very good. That would be very entertaining. But yeah, they're so angry all the time. I can't believe that some of them are still with us. To be honest with you, the amount of rage every morning. But then you got your people who are transphobic who just wake up in a cold sweat and at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, little sweat dripping from their face, and it's like, you know, the PJs are saturated in sweat, and they're like, you know, and you know, the carer comes running in. Says, okay, you're right, love. Did you have a nightmare? No, it's just trans people exist. Oh, okay, yeah. That seems like a sensible thing to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning in the cold sweat about. You massive weirdo. Right, so we're going to go over to the mirror over here. The mirror. We've got mirror here. We've got a footballer. That is just ripe, isn't it? That picture there is just ripe for a bit of graffitiing, if you know what I mean. Look at that. Look at that. Someone needs to graffiti. You know what to do, don't you? Some of you were little boys once. you know what to do to that bit. Those pictures there. Come on. Anyway, probably not the best of ideas, because the story about Shirley Ballas is about her having not wanting to be here, which is kind of sad. The picture of the footballer, that he's a Liverpool footballer, and he's playing the round ball, and they beat the Arsenal, which is Wayne's favourite team. So if you're watching Wayne, not that I'm a Liverpool fan, but it's still funny when the arse get the arse handed to them. See what I did there? Okay, so Starmer's Project Hope. See that? Project Hope. It says at the top. I know it's backwards, but it says Starmer's Project Hope. Do you know who owns projecthope.eu? That's my website. I'll defeat Farage scare tactics. PM hails policies to help people and promises bright future. Well, he's changed his tune from last year, hasn't he? Accuses Reform and Tories of talking Britain down at every turn, which they absolutely do. They absolutely do. Martin says it was a good goal, mind. Yeah. And do you know what's the best thing about it? It was against Arsenal. You know, I honestly, like, the way it works is this, right? Everton above the other teams, and then Liverpool above the other teams after Everton, for me, because, you know, Scouse. And then it's any northern team against any southern team. I know that's very territorial, and you might say you're a little bit small-minded, but I don't care. I'm like, yeah, this is good. This is good. Okay, so Veg Pie has dropped a super chat into the chat. Dog poo tin on my street. I call it Vladimir. Thank you very much to Veg Pie for that. And Francis Winrow, 8348, says, I'm sick of this right-wing crap. So am I, Francis. I hope you're not referring to the show that I'm doing now, because then I'll feel bad. To be fair, Graham, Labour talked the country down last autumn when it came to the economy. Yes, that's what I mean. They changed the tune this time last year. They were like, oh my God, we're all going to die. Ah! And now it's like, oh, well, you're going to be proud of the country. But like, the shit that the fuckers have been coming out with, every time they're taken to task by a presenter on TV or a news reporter or a journalist who actually is worth their salt, the responses are hilarious. They're objectively hilarious. It's like there was a woman on from Refuck, and she was saying that the crime rate in the UK was off the charts, and the presenter kept pushing back on it and going, actually, in all across all crimes, particularly across violent crime is at like a 30-year low. It's lower than it's been since, I don't know, since the 70s in some respects, especially when it comes to serial killers. Thanks for taking the lead out of the petrol, by the way, boys, because now we don't have as many serial killers. We've still got a few older people who are a bit woohoo when it comes to their anger issues and their need to kill people with a hammer. But yeah, they're too old to do it now. They can't get the hammer up like an old Thor. They just, the serial killers just ain't what they are anymore. And I know I'm going to get someone in the chat go, not all boomers are serial killers, Graham. I'm aware of that. But oh my God, look at the stats. Look how many serial killers there were in the 80s and look how many there are in the 20s. It's like, got off a cliff for some reason. I think the reason's lead. Because back in the day, lead in everything. Lead in makeup. Lead in paint. Lead in petrol. Lead in the water. Lead in the water supply. We had lead pipes supplying water to people's houses. I don't know where to start with that. It's just like, what? Really? Yes. Come on, a little bit of lead was good for you. No, it wasn't. Made you go crazy. I'm an Arsenal fan as well, but I don't mix sport and politics, says Sid. Well, I mix politics with everything. You know, I just go and watch some movies. I was a bit disappointed this summer actually, because going to the movies, right, especially when it's a hot day, right, going and sitting in a darkened room with a bunch of strangers is you know, one of the things I enjoy doing in life. And me and my partner, we wanted to go and see Naked Gun. We wanted to see the new Naked. It's not supposed to be that great, but we wanted to see it anyway. It would have been a laugh. We wanted to see the Fantastic Four movie. That looked really good. Wanted to go and see Freakier Friday with the kids. And we couldn't. Did anyone know why we couldn't see those movies? Because there were no subtitle showings at the time that we could actually go and see the movies that we wanted to see. Yeah, there's still lead pipes in old tenement buildings. Yes, there are. Lead is really bad for you and makes you go cray. Anyway, so Starmer's saying, Starmer, Project Hope, I'll defeat Farage scare tactics. So that's what he's saying now. Well, get on with it, mate. I don't know where you've been all summer, but there's been people fucking rioting outside hotels like a bunch of lunatics. And then we've got the Daily Express, the Daily D-Press. I got it D-Press as me. And this has... Leslie Ann Jones on the fallout from her bombshell Freddie Mercury book, revealing that Freddie Mercury had a love child, which sounds like a very Freddie thing to do. And then we've got police told end shop theft sprees. Now, that says now at the bottom. Now. Lead piping was so dangerous. Just ask Colonel Mustard in the library, says Yuri. And in fact, another £5 super chat. Thank you, Yuri. That is very, very kind of you. We're up to £33 now on the super chat funds. Thank you. Oh, and just as I said that, an advert appeared on the stupid today's papers thing. The Daily Express today demands action to halt the shoplifting crisis that is costing stores more than 2.2 billion a year. See, Amazon doesn't have to worry about that, does it? Does it? Nope. And then there's a picture of Jude Law. There you go. Hello, Judy. Judy. Do. He felt safe in Putin power play. Well, there you go. It's the same play that the other thing was about when on the other thing, you know, that we just looked at, that other thing. Anyway, the play in London about the rise to power of Putin. Remember that? Okay. Anyway, so we'll go on, and of course there has to be a picture on the Daily Telegraph here of the woman from the family, the nan, the new nan, the step nan. Hello, step nan. Hello, step nan. So there you go, and there's a thing there. So it was covered by a dialogue box. Queen fought off attacker, sex attacker, which was something that happened in the 1960s. Apparently, she was a teenage Camilla hitman. Oh no, hit a man with her shoe after he tried to grope her. Not great. That happened, but at least she managed to fend him off. At least she managed to. Get rid of the nasty man. Refugees face crackdown on bringing families to UK. Another pointless bloody title there. And then we've got this really weird story here. And I'll zoom in so you can read it backwards. The story here, right? It says 3 votes Rayner, postal ballot puts tax claims in doubt. Angela Rayner is facing fresh questions about overhead tax arrangements after it emerged that she has registered to vote in person in her newly bought second home, which you can do actually. I'm registered to vote here in Durham and in Liverpool. You can only vote once, but if I'm in Liverpool when there's an election on, I can vote there. I can only vote locally here. It's just the rules. It's the rules. I don't make the rules, but you can be registered in 2 places at once. Also, it helps your credit rating if you are registered where you have your banking sent and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's fun, isn't it? Fun story. And then we've got another super chat. Thank you, Miss Paula Thomas. Lovely super chat. £5 super chat there. Bringing our super chat total to £38 this morning. Thank you. That's been very kind this morning. Dear right-wing press, you are clutching at thin straws. Stop it. It makes you look desperate. It does look a bit like desperation, doesn't it? It's sad. It's just pathetic. It's kind of like, this is normal. This is normal. This is what politicians do. This is what politicians have always done. Like, what's new? Where's the difference in this? Guy says, I don't know. A lot of people think new nicknames. Yeah, that's a bit irritating, isn't it? Viper Scott is Alistair. So thank you, Viper Scott. There, Alistair. But yeah, some of the others. I mean, Diz is still Diz, something else now, aren't you, Diz? And Veg Pie is still in there. Plumdorf. Yeah, you can work out most of them. I think Gary Arnold's Gary Arnold. Anyway, it's just at some point I'm gonna have to redo the names at the end of the show for our new members of the channel. Did I just experience deja vu? Deja vu. And One Angry Pagan says, I'm still me. I'm still me. Thanks, One Angry Pagan. And Diz says, I'm still Diz. I'm still Diz. Still Diz. I'm still Alice. Okay, so drug. Better than aspirin at preventing heart attacks. That's in The Guardian. There you go. So apparently it's better. And then there's a story here on this side. See these people on this side of the screen? These people here. These are people who are no longer with us. They've been slaughtered. They've been murdered. They've been butchered by the Israeli regime, which has decided to go to war with the press and has killed over 200 journalists. Here it says at least 189 journalists have been killed in 22 months. And I go back to the stats on World War II, was it? 69 journalists killed in the whole of World War II, which was a world war. Just insane. Right. And then Stanford intrigue. Okay, so this is a little interesting story down here. I know you can't see it because it's quite small on the screen and it's not in the best of resolutions, but doubts over US offer to Badenoch. Has Badenoch been making things up on her CV again? Has she? Let's see what she said. Academics are cast doubt over the Conservative leader's claim to have been offered a place at prestigious medical school at Stanford University at 16, with admissions staff unable to recall the proposal and the university not providing the course. That's kind of fascinating, isn't it? Isn't that fascinating, everyone? Yes, it is, Graham. Thank you for agreeing with me on how fascinating that is. So once again, Kemi Badenoch caught in a lie. Do you think she's still going to be the leader in a few months' time? Do you reckon? How long? We should have a pool, shouldn't we, on how long she's going to last? I think right, between you and me, come in. Right, so they're going to leave it because they have 1 year grace, don't they, unless you Liz Truss, where they can't put in applications to the 1922 committee. Now the thing is, it used to require over 50 applications to the 1922 committee in order to run a leadership election, right? But now, because there's so few Tory MPs, there's only 121, I think, Tory MPs at the moment. Because there's so few of them, it only takes a handful of MPs to go, we don't want you to be our leader anymore, and get rid of it. I think, right, that they're going to wait until after the party conference in a couple of weeks. And they're going to wait till after the party conference, and then they're going to go, oh, that party conference was a disaster. They're going to go, that was a bit of a disaster, that party conference. So what we're going to do, just between me and you, is we're going to get rid of it. Okay, so that's what I think. I think she's going to be gone by Christmas. I think it's going to be all over by Christmas, just like World War I in 1914. Only actually all over by Christmas. We've got another super chat in from Chris C. Thank you so much, Chrissy. That is very kind of you. A Guardian report has found that English councils are paying private landlords millions in incentives to house homeless families. That is mad. That is just objectively mad. That is a mad way of doing it. Private landlords, no, it should be houses under public ownership. That once they've been used for a few years for someone, they can get used for somebody else, or they can be, sold for profit. But we don't have that system in the UK for some reason. We just have this thing where private landlords make money, make more money, make loads more money. Do they deserve it? I don't think they do. So, yeah, over by Christmas. And we're up to £43 and 8 pence now. I wonder why it's 8 pence. I wonder why that It's £8. It's weird. I don't normally have this when I do the show on a computer. But when you do it on your phone, there's a little thing here, right? And here it says live and how long you've been going, so 35 minutes. And then you've got how many people are watching, which is 150. Hello, everyone. And then we've got 46 likes. So we probably could do with more likes. And then I know you can't see it, but here it's got how much we've got in super chats, which is £43.08 at the moment. So thank you so much. You've been very generous this morning. I think everyone's just feeling sorry for me because I snipped through my cable by accident. I gave myself the snip. Snip, snip. These are my big scissors. Snip, snip. If you ever see my short film, The Censor, this is the murder scissors that he uses to kill people with. That's the prop. They don't actually work as scissors very well, but they look great on camera. Snip, snip. Okay, so I don't know why I'm bothering here, but the Daily Star leads with, look, Nessie, official Nessie. Look, it's Nessie, all right? Nessie's saying, ugh, I've been on my hollybops, and Nessie's back. Our fave monster has been missing since May. A new sighting is the best in 30 years. And I know you can't see this very well, but I'm going to try and zoom in, right? Right? That's the picture of Nessie. That's the picture of Nessie there. I mean, come on. Wow. One of your faces, Nessie isn't fucking real. All right, calm down. For fuck's sake. So, anyway, oh my God, the Star. And then we've got the Metro here, reporting on the Battle of the Bonds, apparently. So this is who's going to be the next Bond. Oh, wow, Katrina Tam has just dropped a 50 quid super chat. A mega chat. Wow, thank you so much, Katrina. That is really, really kind. I'm going to give you a little heart. You got a little heart next to your thing there. Completely off topic, but I went online to buy a water filter that filters out PFAs, and they're constantly out of stock. Apparently, Amazon have them in stock all of the time, but at twice the price. I wonder if their stock goes to Amazon. Fuck Amazon. Katrina, that is so generous of you. Thank you so much. Wow. Wowzers, trousers. And then hot on the heels of that, we've got Ivan. Ivan, thank you so much, Ivan. Good morning. Good morning, my friend. The audacity of the Tories with them pointing fingers at the current migrant situation. The Tories are the cause of the issues, and yet they keep going on about Rwanda delusions all around. Yeah, we wouldn't be having the issue that we had right now if, A, they hadn't pulled us out the EU, and B, and the Dublin Agreement. And actually, we didn't have to pull out the Dublin Agreement. There were countries that aren't in the EU that are part of the Dublin Agreement. We chose to do that of our own free will. That wasn't the Tories. The Tories decided to do that of their own free will. Sorry, I'm not going to bring us into it. We had nothing to do with it. And the other thing was putting the immigrants in hotels. Oh no! And the third thing was taking ages to process the bloody asylum claims. So they made sure there were more boats, there were more hotels, there were more asylum claims that took longer. And like they set the whole thing up to fail, and then they had the audacity to come on TV and say, "Oh, if only we'd done Rwanda, that would have worked." Rwanda, which cost, what was it, 800 million, was it, by the end of the day, which he gave to Paul Kagame's fucking government when he's a fucking tyrant who keeps invading his neighbour. Yeah, anyway, so thank you very much to Ivan. You are completely correct, and thank you very much for the £10 super chat. And Katrina, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Katrina, for the £50. Miss Paula Thomas, £5 super chat. Yes, but that is the wrong comparison. The right one is with Jewish reporters were killed in Auschwitz. Yeah, good point, Miss Paula Thomas. Yeah. What's happening in Gaza at the moment, and the West Bank as well, is just, it's heartbreaking and sickening and kind of a little bit demoralizing, to be honest with you. It's an absolute disgrace. Yeah, it is a stain on the conscience of the world. It really is. So anyway, thank you to Ivan and to Paula and to Katrina. Thank you. You're all freaking awesome. You all are. All right, okay, so we're going to go back to the papers. We've got the Battle of the Bonds, the Battle of the Bonds, the Battle of the Bonds, with the Battle of the Bonces. So we've got Alfonso Bonzo here. We've got Alfonso Bonzo, and we've got Aldonzo Ponzo over here. And they're all vying to be the next James Bond. This is Aaron Taylor thingy, not to be confused with Anya Taylor-Joy, who's a completely different person. But you know what? I don't know if he looks like he's got a lot of. He looks a bit wrinkly around his eyes. I think he's too old. How old is he? How old? He can't be that old, can he? He played Kick-Ass. He was only 10 or something. Aaron Taylor. What's his name? Aaron Taylor Smith. Johnson, is it? Johnson? I don't know. So I'm trying to Google here. Hi, Janeway. Woo! How you doing? Hope you're all right this morning. With everything, the shit that's going down. English actor, known for playing Kick-Ass. He's only 35. Ooh, he's 10 years. He's 10 years younger than me. Maybe he smokes. I don't know. He just, I mean, I might just be being mean here. Do you know what I mean? I might be being mean, but I don't think I am. I just think that, like, do you know what? Why is my F buttons not working? There you go. Look, he's just, I don't know. He looks dead old. He looks dead old to me. Look at the eyes. Round the eyes. He's only 35. It's not the years, it's the mileage. Anyway, so he's richer than me. I can say that. Okay, I'm being mean. Whatever. He chose poorly. Oh my God, I saw a picture of Ian Brown over the weekend from the Stone Roses. Oh, so old. He just looks so old. Oh my, OMG. Ian Brown, what happened, mate? Did you drink from the wrong grail? Did you drink from the wrong cup? Did you drink from the wrong cup? Roger Moore was 45 when he first played Bond. Woo! Well, there's hope for me yet. Women and children lose out most from Home Office plan to tighten rules of refugees. Yes, they do, as often happens in these circumstances. So thanks very much for pointing that out, Chrissy. If this nonsense about the only people coming over are men. I mean, a lot of the times it's the men that can make the initial journey, and then they can legally try and bring over the rest of their family, which makes sense for them to do that. But yes, Paul Plumduff says, so I went for a swim this morning, forgot me pants as a sign, I tell you. Well, you know. Anyway, here we go. Historic rail revolution. This is quite cool, but it's only in Scotland. So in Scotland, there's been a rail revolution. Do you know what the revolution is? They've done away with peak time prices. ScotRail, which is nationally owned, aims to get thousands out of their cars as Swinney hails end of peak fares. Rail commuters received cash boost this morning after peak fares were scrapped in what First Minister John Swinney called a historic monument. So the price for a train between Glasgow and Edinburgh dropped from £32.60 to £16. I think that's 80. Yeah, £16.80. So it's low resolution. It's low resolution. What's this? No bloody good to me. I'm on a fucking island. But yes. £16 to go. £16 to go from Glasgow to Edinburgh. That's amazing. It cost me £80 to go one way to Liverpool. That's like at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. Okay, so yeah, historic rail revolution, but only for our friends in the north. My friends in the north, because they're north of me. Not all of them, actually. I think here in Durham, maybe we're a bit. If you draw a line, is it the Isle of Bute? Is it that comes right down? I think there's a pot. I might be just making this up. I'm sure a bit of Durham is actually more north than some of Scotland. I think there's some Scotland that's south of here. Technically speaking, it draw a straight line because obviously it's the diagonal line, right? Viper, they did that a few years ago, and also when there was a lockdown, looking into travel by train now, which is really good. Scott Water and ScotRail nationalised as chips. Absolutely. Okay, so this is the cover of the Independent, and you might notice it's blank. but it's not entirely blank. It does actually have a message here, a very important message, which I will read to you because I know it's backwards for you. At the rate journalists are being killed in Gaza, reporting on Israel's war, there'll be soon none left to keep you informed. Hashtag protect journalists in Gaza. Hashtag let reporters into Gaza. That is cray. That is crazy. Oh, the Mullican tire, is that it? Sorry, it wasn't Butte, was it? Butte. The Mullican tire. Yes, you're absolutely right. I think. I need to look at the map, but I don't have time at the moment. I don't have the time to look at the maps. I'm too busy looking at the news. But again, this really does strike, in the heart of what's happening to the people of Gaza right now. And the iron grip that Israel has over the reporting of what's happening over there, and the few reporters that are left to, living in fear of being targeted by the Israelis who are targeting journalists. These are not just accidental killings. Do you know what I mean? They have a list. They have a list of journalists who they're trying to assassinate, that they're trying to take out. And Loss says, I'll take a 50% hit to my living standards today because they're pretty crap anyway. If my kids and grandkids' future was made better. Yeah. But under this lot, under the Tories, is that's going to happen. Right, so Financial Times here. We've got Raja MPs. Indonesians take to the streets. That's the way to do it. Look at that. They're all pissed off. Things set on fire. With what's happening, protesters riding motorcycles and on foot gather in front of a police building that was burnt and looted. God, they don't fuck around in other countries, do they? Burnt and looted in Surabaya in Indonesia yesterday. Europe laying roadmap. This story here. This is in the Financial Times. For deploying troops in Ukraine, von der Leyen says security force takes shape. US backstop key to plans. Paris summer this week. Defense spending push. Which sounds good to me. And then we've got this this horrible story. I mean, this is really, like, I'm looking at this and it's just kind of pissing me off. Just even the headline here. Okay, so I'll read it to you because I know it's backwards. Bitcoin jackpot spurs newly wealthy to binge on private jets and luxury cruises. A growing number of private jet and ultra luxury cruise operators are taking cryptocurrency payments amid booming demand from travelers made rich by soaring Bitcoin prices. The biggest and most famous pyramid scheme of all time. But there you go. Your investments may go up and it may go down. Bitcoin creates lots coin. But yeah, I'm glad that some people are really enjoying the end of the world. Meanwhile, Kemi Badenoch, who's an idiot, yesterday, as we spoke about this on the show yesterday, she went out and she said, do you remember she said that we should drill. We talked about this yesterday. We should drill all of the oil out of the sea. All of the oil. I talked about it on the show yesterday, and they were talking about it on the radio because it was on the LBC News channel, and they said, Badenoch says we've got to drill all this oil. I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake, what a nutter! When is a good news day on the channel? Says Martin. Well, it's another day, and therefore it's another day marching closer to the grave for certain people that we don't like. And there was a lot of conjecture about the future of Trump over the weekend, whether he was going to still be with us by Monday morning. It appears that he is still with us, but he is looking a bit worse for wear. Let's take a moment to laugh at that guy in Wales who's still obsessing over his Bitcoin-filled hard drive that ended up in the landfill. The annoying thing about that is, like, so what? Like, he spent a few thousand on Bitcoin and now it's worth billions. Well, it would be if he could find his hard drive. But he didn't work for that money. Do you know what I mean? He didn't work for that money. And I'm sorry, but like, if it's been in the trash, if it's been in a, if it's been underneath a pile of fucking dirty nappies for the last decade, there's no coming back. There's no coming back from that. Miss Paula Thomas, it seems to me that there's a window immediately after World War II when social structures broke sufficiently for talented people from non-traditional backgrounds to escape social constraints. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. There was a golden opportunity. There was a golden moment where things did get better for a few years, and the boomer generation has really, really benefited from that. But a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, they kicked the ladder away from once they reach the top. They're like, you know what that reminds me of? Do you remember the old Gits from Harry Enfield in the 90s? There was an episode of the old Gits, or a sketch, where they won the lottery and they had all this money, and then they ended up burning the money because they didn't want anyone else getting their money. And they're like, yeah, and they're throwing money on the fire, and one of them says, "Children in need," and they throw this wad of £50 notes on the fire. Have to stay in bloody need. I always remember that. Like, that's what they're like. That's what the rich are like. They're not, I mean, we've all had that sort of fantasy, haven't we? Both think, oh, if I won the lottery or I had loads of money, what would I do with all my money? And I'd make sure that my friends and family were looked after, but also, I'll try and do some good. I'll try and do some real good. It's in my community, in here in Durham and in Liverpool. I'll try and help people who are talented reach to the higher echelons of whatever their passion is, because they're talented. You can see they're talented. I find YouTube sort of a bit of a great leveler in some respects, because if you don't have the chutzpah to do this kind of thing, it gets pretty obvious pretty fast. But at the same time, there's a lot of people out there who make really great quality stuff. I think Abe Thompson is a best example about this, or even Mikey Famine. They make really, really great content, but hardly anyone sees it because we don't have marketing budgets. We can't pay to be the sponsored outcome of someone's search for a particular topic. And that's something that drives me up the wall, because we've got all this talent out there and they don't get the recognition that they deserve. Meanwhile, the likes of I forgot their names now, but these people that work for the 55 Tufton Street motherfuckers, they're never off the telly. They're never off the telly. But yeah, and then we're all sort of working for ourselves and just trying to make ends meet. And I was talking to Zoe Gardner, Zoe Gardner was in one of our chats that I'm in on WhatsApp, and we were just talking about getting 300 messages a day, like toxic messages a day on Twitter. Like, it's just so hard to just keep on top of it and delete them all and block them all. You just don't have time. Like, who has time to sit there and delete and block 300 messages on Twitter? No one does, unless someone has a staff, someone has a team, someone has people who are helping them out, and other people. The team could work for more than one person, but we don't have that set up. And the reason we don't have that set up in this country is because we're left-wingers, and no one wants to sponsor left-wing content, really, because, I mean, none of the rich, sorry, I know you do, but the super rich, the people with the millions to spend, if they're going to spend money on social media, they're going to spend it on right-wing tosspots who foment culture war bullshit. And also the people who put the rich on a pedestal and don't blame them for anything, and also do things that mean that the rich pay less tax. So for a rich person, if you've got loads of money, sponsoring media creators who are right-wing makes sense. You get a return on investment. If you're left-wing, it doesn't really make much sense. Lost Missionary says, I'll do it for Zoe Gardner for free. She's almost a lone presence. Yeah. But I mean, this is the thing. It needs to be organized. It needs to be put together. And Zoe doesn't have the time to do it. Aid is fabulous. Aid Thompson is one of the best content creators online at the moment. I swear, the stuff he puts together is fucking genius. He's really, really good. Also, the guys who do Broken News, Larry and Paul, they're fucking geniuses. They're absolutely genius. They should be getting views in the millions for their sketches because they're fucking brilliant. You know, they've taken the mantle of the day-to-day or brass eye, and they do these really well-produced shows each week, taking the piss out of whatever's happening in the news, and they do it so well, but they just don't have the level of support that I think that they deserve. I think they deserve their own TV show, to be honest with you. Why don't you pagan? For uncounted generations, the wealthy have controlled access to knowledge from the average person. Now we have more access to that than any time in history. This, to me, is why the wealthy are panicking. Yeah. AIDS, holiday snaps, top off, schools ahead, says Billy Kershaw. Indeed. But you know, this is something that we talk about on this channel a lot. And it's just, if my numbers ever come in, or whatever they call it, is that where you die when your numbers up? No, wait, if my numbers call, no, that's dying as well. What's the expression? If my numbers come up, that's it. That's the expression, is it? Because it's all about a lottery. If my numbers come up, not that I played the lottery, so it would be a miracle. But if my numbers did come up, like I know how I am. I don't need a luxury yacht. I don't need. I wouldn't spend money on stuff that I don't actually need. I've got quite a functional mind. Like when I buy something, it's always, is this useful, rather than is this pretty, or will this look nice on a shelf, or it's generally if I actually buy something or spend money on something, there's a reason behind it. It might be a gift for someone. It might be something that I know that I'll give this gift to someone and it will brighten up their day or something like that. But I mean, for me, I guess I'm quite hard to buy for, because I don't need trinkets. I don't need trinkets. I'm just got a super chat in. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, but my my chat here is chugging away. That's all your chat coming up. So we're gonna wait. Watching the chat. Oh, there it is. Thank you. You can see the super chat comes up a different colour there. Thank you, Ivan. Thank you very much for the £5 super chat, my friend. The Prime Minister has just changed the position of Darren Jones from Chief Secretary to the Treasury to a number 10 role. Ooh, I like Darren Jones. He's good. And who's this? Mr. Tisk says, lots of time for Jones, going places. Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for your support, Ivan, and thanks for the heads up. Politics says, did you know anything of post-Labour economics? If not, I'll point you to the Sleepy Kuma. They're running a transitional economic implementation of the concept. Post-Labour economics, Amy Walker. No, I don't know. I've not heard about that. But I'd like to look into it. I'd definitely like to look into it. Christy says, or maybe if enough people stop paying the regressive license fee, the BBC will sit up and listen. Yeah, maybe. You never know, you look. Yes, Colin, love to the family, says Kirsty. Yes, also Colin from Portsmouth on the Exploding Heads. The Exploding Heads, again, another two guys who put out some really, really quality stuff. But, even like Marina and Gemma, Marina Perkis and Gemma Forte, they're going great guns on Global Player with their podcast, The Trawl, which is, it's a great listen. It's a really fun listen to go through all the shit on Twitter. So, they go through it so you don't have to, which is, I think it's just a great sort of tagline there. We trawl through the shit so you don't have to. And yet, they've still got other jobs. That doesn't pay for everything. It just doesn't. So yeah. Viper Scott, thousands have been given to the BBC from Scotland, but still no change. Protests outside the BBC also. Yeah. I think that the BBC needs to be devolved, doesn't it? What do you reckon? Devolution for the BBC. Although would it be? Marina Gemma never cover trans stuff. That's from Janeway. They did one show. Where they talked about it, and they were quite. It's quite a good show. I don't know if you listened to it, but they were quite sensitive about the topic. But I think, reading between the lines, that this is something that the global. I can't really say. It's not my place to say, but I don't think it's them. I think it's someone else who's like, no, don't talk about that. I'm not saying who. You can infer that from what I'm saying, but I just I think that also the amount of abuse, especially that women get when they put their head above the parapet to support trans rights, is just, it's insane. It is absolutely insane. But yeah, they've done at least one show where they did cover what's happening. It was after the Supreme Court ruling. Yeah, I'd like to see them do more. But yes. Veg Pie says, if I won the lottery jackpot, I will put money into Politics Social. Oh, thank you so much, Veg Pie. Thank you. I would too. Well, that's the thing. I would like to set up a foundation, right? And it wouldn't necessarily be me funding everything, but if I had the money, and who knows, I might one day, I would like to set up a foundation, which I've talked about on this channel before, but I've also talked to my friends about this, where we have a group of content creators, like 5, 6, 7 of us, who are left wing, who are making content, and just give them a basic income, a universal basic income of maybe like $2,000 a month. Not like Brewsters or anything, but just enough to keep their head above the head above the water. And also allow them to not be chasing the algorithm all the time. I quite like the model that I've got on this channel, although it's not as, I don't make anywhere near as much as Maximilian or Phil do on my channel. But I decided a while ago to not chase the algorithm with my shows, and to actually just have a small group of people who watch every day, who can fund little super chats that come in, or sometimes big super chats, thank you very much, coming in. That's just enough to keep my head above the water. But yeah, a little bit more would really, really help, especially for friends of mine who are renting, who feel trapped where they live because they would like to live somewhere else, but they wouldn't be able to afford the rent anywhere else. So yeah, 76 steps, another lifeline start to my day. Thanks, G. Oh, thanks very much, 76, for saying that. That was really nice. If I was a millionaire, I would happily support Graham, Supertansky, Ollie, and Alex. Yeah, that's what I mean. Have a foundation, but just start it off and get the marketing going and the advertising so people know about it, and then have it so people are subscribed to that and we all benefit from it. Like Nebula in the States. I think that would be a really good model to set up for left-wing content creators, because God knows, no millionaire is going to drop loads of money on us like they do for the right-wing grifters out there who literally, one of the insults that they like to throw at left-wingers like myself and Tan and others is that we're grifting. And I'm like, I feel like I'm grafting more than grifting, my friends, because I do put a lot of work into this, and my opinions are genuinely my own. I'm not here hawking someone else's products. I'm not here selling something other than what I see as the truth, and and we argue, we do debate, we do not necessarily agree on everything, me and the audience, me and the other presenters on this channel. Of course we don't agree on everything, but the important things I think we do agree on, and the idea that we all want to see social progress, and we want to see refuck just get in the fucking sea. But yeah, there you go. We've got Diz saying, I agree. Oh, thank you. We don't agree on everything, but whatever it was that I was agreeing on before, Diz agrees with it as well. Andy Walker, if I won the lottery, I'd dump it all into setting up a post-Labour automated city, then laugh maniacally as the establishment shit themselves at the existential threat. Lol. And Nick says, AI and automation will eventually make goods and services dirt cheap or free. UBI may not be needed at all at that point. We'll still need energy. But I mean, energy will come down in price a lot. Do you remember the other day when it said that the prices were going up and they were blaming the green infrastructure and they're saying that the prices were going up of our energy bills by 2%? What they failed to mention is our energy bills actually came down in July, like substantially. So the 2% is a tiny proportion of the amount that they've already come down. So the 2% going up. The bills today in September are lower than they were in July. They just are. Veg Pie says, yes, I'll put money into 10 and others too. Well, the thing is, if we had a foundation set up and people subscribe to it, and then we had six or 7,000 subscribers paying £10 a month, and then they get special access to stuff. So at the end of each month, maybe we all have a get together and we all like talk about what we've been doing, and that's exclusively for members of the foundation. And there's different levels in the foundation as well. So it's something that I'd like to get set up, but we need funding to get it set up in the first place. I mean, even just checking the legals behind it, because it's not just a question of, okay, here's some money. You'd have to look at the legality. What if one of us says something and gets sued by, if Femi would be involved in this. So Femi gets sued by some twat from the refuckers or the Tories or something, Rupert Lowe or someone decides to sue Femi. Would we be culpable? Would we be liable? How would that work? And could we help him out with his legal fees? Can we give him insurance? Something I'd like our content creators to have is insurance. If you're working for The Guardian at the moment and some celebrity, say Noel Clarke, sues you for telling the truth, you've got The Guardian behind you, and The Guardian will stick up for you, as they did for the women who were abused by Noel Clarke, but also they stuck up for Carla Cadwalla as well. When she was sued by Aaron Banks. I think she was sued by Aaron Banks for telling the truth. She was sued for telling the truth. So we need insurance against that. We need insurance to pay for any possible legal fees that could come up as a result of someone saying something. We'd also need to look into welfare of people on the channel, but also, and what I'm kind of getting to in a roundabout way, we'd also be able to pay for online onboard staff whose job it is to promote our channels all day, every day. That's their job. They promote them. And also for our protection, for our welfare, to get rid of all of the spam and make sure that people are just, blocked after they leave one nasty message. That's it. Nick in the chat says squirting. He just says squirting. I love that. Thanks, Nick. Asterix squirting. Thank you very much. No, Google Pixel phones are entirely assembled without humans. You'll notice the price hasn't gone down. We need to set up automated businesses as direct competitors for your thing to happen. We're talking about whether AI is deflationary or inflationary. We will soon see, I think. Martin Howard says, Scott, my son's best friend's mom is head of AI and robotics at John Moores Uni. They've been working on legal integration of AI for years. But you still need people. Yeah, it is difficult. Person says, if I shed loads of unearned money, I'll be frozen, overwhelmed with working out the most responsible way to spend it. I'll become a miser through uncertainty. Says person impersonator. It's maybe that's the reason why some people who get loads of money just hoard it, because they just don't know what to do with it. They get a choice paralysis. Maybe that's what happens. They get choice paralysis. Ivan saying, I would like to get above 46 subscribers. I can't help feeling soul destroyed by it. Don't worry about your number of subscribers, Ivan. Just keep plugging away, mate. Because on this channel we've got 41,000 subscribers, something like that, and we've only got 128 people watching this now. So Your subscriber count doesn't necessarily translate into how many people watch your videos. Might need to shoot off. Got fabric to cut, mark and sew, but I'll still be watching, says Chris C. Okay, thank you very much to Chris C. We will keep you entertained, at least for another 15 minutes, in which I am going to go over some of the headlines that are coming out. We have got news about Starmer shaking up the number 10 team, with new senior ministers and key advisors. So maybe they were watching me and Phil argue on Friday about Labour and what they need to do, and the fact that they need better advice and maybe stop listening to blue fucking Labour, whether they are left wing or not. Still don't really understand what the whole thing was about. I think helping people out, they might not be economic, but I think that's more of a left wing to do than a right thing to do. Nick Chat, I remember in the early days, 10 to 20 viewers, and Graham rarely going more than 5 minutes without saying the see you next Tuesday word, usually at high volume. Fun times. What are you making? If I have to catch up on sleep, I have none for over 20 hours. Starman is a bloody good shaker, but number 10. Yeah. Another thing I'd like to mention as well, I've had this channel now for 19 years. 19 years this month I've had this channel on YouTube. Just saying, it's a bit of a slog. It's a bit of a slog. So I'm looking at the BBC News here, and we have a picture of Darren Jones, who is Starmer's new chief secretary. This is news coming in. So there he is, Darren. As has been reported, Keir Starmer has created a brand new role in his cabinet this morning, chief secretary to the Prime Minister. He's appointed Darren Jones to the job, a serving minister who has been in the Commons since 2017. The Bristol North West MP has been chief secretary to the Treasury, effectively Rachel Reeves' deputy, since Labour came into power last July. Jones, 38, has been a regular spokesperson for the government and the media, particularly on economic issues. He caused controversy in March after liking disability benefits to pocket money during an appearance on the BBC. Well, I mean, the amount that you get in disability benefits, yeah, but that's probably not the best way of putting it, mate. Especially as the government at the time seemed to be going after disabled people to raid them for the money on some kind of like reverse Robin Hood thing, where they were taking money from the poor to give to the oil companies, the oil. So Darren Jones has been the chief secretary to the Prime Minister. The role that he had, which is chief secretary to the Treasury, will be replaced by James Murray, who was previously the Exchequer secretary to the Treasury. Murray will be replaced by Don Tomlinson, an economist who was first elected as a Labour MP at last year's general election. And last week, Starmer replaced Private Principal Secretary Nin Pandit, the top civil servant in his Downing Street office. So, this is just basically Darren Jones has been given this new job as advisor to the Prime Minister, or chief secretary to the Prime Minister, and everyone else has just shifted into position in the old whoever. So I don't think this is as big news as they seem to think that it is, So Home Secretary Yvette Cooper today, because today's the first day back in Parliament. I should have started with that. I should top of the show, 1st of September, Monday the 1st of September. I always like it when a month begins with a Monday. That's quite fitting and quite proper that it starts on a Monday. It suits my OCD. It's the start of the new parliamentary term, because Parliament's a bit like school. And silly season's over officially, I guess. And now Labour are going to try and get back hold of the agenda. Maybe they get back hold of what's happening in the country instead of just fiddling to what tune Farage is demanding. If Labour stop pandering to right-wing framing, which looks like they're doing now, it will be progress. Katrina Tam says it's 47 subscribers now. In fact, what I'll do, Ivan, is I will quickly, if I can do this, I will look you up. And there we go, Ivan. I'm already subscribed to Ivan's channel. But if you could all do us a favour, everyone who's watching this, give Ivan a boost, subscribe to his channel. There's the link in the chat to Ivan's channel. I don't know which side it'll appear on for you for what you're watching. Might appear under here. I don't know. Somewhere it might appear up here for all I know. But on my On my screen, it's coming here. This is where it is on my screen. But yeah, it says grain politics. I get a little crown. I get a little. Isn't that nice? I get a little crown on my screen. I don't get that on. I don't get that on my computer, but on my phone, I get a little crown after my name. Oh, that must mean I'm the fucking king. He must be the king. So there you go. And the other thing, Ivan, is just quantity of stuff, just getting stuff online, just doing, musings, even if it's just 5 minutes, even if it's just a couple of minutes, just like, I'm pissed off about this particular thing happening in the news today, and just make sure you got new content out every day. It's not easy. It's not easy being a fish. We've got 84 likes. We've got 128 people watching now. So if anyone else wants to give us a like on this channel, and a few people now subscribing to Ivan's channel. So thank you, Ivan, for all the support on this channel. And I hope I can give a little bit of support back to you there. Okay, peeps, need to start work. Says Martin Harrow, need to finish early to take eldest to Sale Sharks during tonight. Pubs have to watch Tan on catch up. Oh no! And then Ivan, same here. They've actually destroyed this country. I'll never forgive Labour. For what they're doing either. Both parties need to disappear. They don't serve any purpose anymore. So it's just click approve. Yeah, Labour have not showered themselves in glory by any stretch of the imagination. So Tam was going to do a Sunday service yesterday, but the Sunday service has been to the replacement service, which is going to be today on this evening. So I'm going to make sure that Stateside isn't at the same time as her show. I'll try and see if we can make it so that people watching her show come over and watch Stateside over here. The Chip says, it's good to remind us to like. I often forget. I often forget as well, which probably isn't great because it is my channel. But there you go. So what else news have we got? We got there's a meeting. There's a meeting in China in was it? It's not Shanghai, is it? It's not in Shanghai. Where is it? Where's the meeting? Tianjin in China. That is the Chinese leader Xi Jinping has met up with Vladimir Putin, the butcher of Bucha, and in Tianjin is a major port city, apparently. I think I've been there. Let me just, is that where the boat goes to Taiwan? Am I just making that up? I don't know. I'm going to check on the maps. I'm going to check in real time. Not in real time because my internet's quite slow today. Oh no, I have been there. But that's not from where I got the boat, because I got the boat from Qingdao. Yeah, okay. Right. Oh my god, I'd like to show you on the map. I'd like to teach the world to sing, but it's kind of difficult. Wow, they've got all the, this is mad. They've got all the roads marked. It just looks like spaghetti. Look, this is the map of China. And it's just, I don't know if you can see that, but it's just all veiny little blue lines all over it. I can't see it very well. But yeah, let's zoom out loads. There we go. Okay, so there's China. Oh, it's backwards. It's pointless, isn't it? It's pointless. There's no point in going on. It's backwards. Anyway, there's China. And where the summit in Tianjin is just quite close to the Korean Peninsula. Korean Peninsula. On the bright side, it's international break, so we don't have to watch Aston Villa let me down, and Parliament is back today. There's been an earthquake in Afghanistan. It's killed at least 600 people. Again, we see when there is a natural disaster in a developing country, it tends to kill a lot more people than it does if it happens in a developed country that has things in place to protect people. Gwen 9414 says a plane carrying Ursula von Leyen was forced to land in Bulgaria using paper maps after suspected Russian GPS jamming disabled all navigation systems at Plovdiv Airport, Financial Times reports. Jesus Christ. Fucking Russians trying to blow up planes again. They're a bit obsessed. And Russia's got to be put back in its box. Russia has got to be put back in its M&F box. Anyway, what else have we got? We've got Liverpool has agreed to take a player, Isaac. What's his name? Alexander Isaac from Newcastle for £125 million. Oh my God, that's so much money. That is so much money. Well, well done, lads. There you go. Liverpool have won all 3 matches, their first 3 matches. I don't think any other team's done that. So they're top of the league at the moment in the ramble. I like Darren Jones in committee meetings. Hopefully he will talk sense to the nonsense Labour has enmeshed itself in with the culture wars. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping as well. Designs V for you. And yeah, I can't see it because your video is pixelating quite badly. Yeah, I'm sorry that you wouldn't have been able to see it anyway. When I was bringing up the China map, it looked bloody awful. Yeah, unhelpful. Right, so I've got 3 minutes left. So I'm just going to read a couple of chats here. On the bright side, the international break, so I don't have to watch Aston Villa let me down, and Parliament is back today. It is indeed. And yeah, Labour don't serve any purpose anymore. Nick Chat says Labour's plan, blame the Tories for everything until next general election while ignoring their own hard Brexit stance, and then pitch itself as Farage light in 2029. Yeah, I don't think that Labour's policy, Nick, is, I wouldn't call it a hard Brexit stance, because they're not demanding that we go, well, let's go WTO, which is what the hard Brexiters wanted back in 2019, which is the maddest thing I've ever heard in my life. Let's go WTO. It's like, do a thing that no other country in the world wants to do. I think that Labour are, constrained by the fact that only 3 minutes, can't we keep going, says Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. No, because I'm going to run out of internet. I'm literally going to run out of internet, and I'm just hoping that I have enough to do tonight's show if the internet doesn't get fixed today. I'm hoping that it will. But yeah, thank you so much for the super chat, Sarah. I really appreciate that. But yeah, if I could, I would just keep going like cray all day and all night. But you go and listen to James O'Brien if you wanna, if you're not pissed off with him. Yeah. Sorry, what was I talking about before oh yeah, Nick. Any scenario that keeps the UK out of the single market, the EEA, the freedom of movement, equals a hard Brexit, basic definition. Their stance towards the EU is softer than the Tories was, and it's a lot softer than anything Refuck want to do. And one of the big changes that's happened is, instead of having meetings with the EU to discuss further developments and further integration once every 5 years, they've said they're going to do it once a year. But Nick, the big thing that we need to do, it's no good us sitting here, going, God, Labour should be doing this, Labour should be, it make no difference whatsoever if Labour was trying to get us back into the single market without the people behind them. And because there's no campaign, because no one's spending money to try and get people on side for the idea of going for going back into the single market, Labour aren't going to respond to that. What we need to do, and another thing I would do if I had the fucking money, is have a national campaign to get us back into the single market. Not like the European movement's doing its thing, grassroots for Europe, and that's great, or best for Britain, but an actual concerted campaign to get us back into the single market and get loads of people behind it to a point where Labour can't ignore it in the run up to the 2029 election, and will actually put it as part of their manifesto pledge to rejoin. I think that's what we've got to do. Otherwise, it's what they'll say is, and I've spoken to countless Labour MPs about this. I'm voting fucking reform. They always say not voting for reform. I mean reform of the voting system. They'll say it's not something that comes up on the doorsteps. It's not something that comes up on the doorsteps, which is entirely frustrating, because it's something that should come up on the doorsteps, but it doesn't, because there's no concerted campaign at the moment to get us back into the single market. Which is, I absolutely agree with you on the fact that we should. Absolutely agree with you. Ivan, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. I don't follow football, but the money involved with buying players, what they get paid every week, stroke month, makes me furious. Ivan, I don't mind it, to be honest with you, mate. I don't mean to be obtuse. Now I'm being accused. Terrible joke. Acute, like an angle. I don't mean to be obtuse, but these footballers, they are elite athletes who, I mean, their prowess on the fields, whatever, they are athletes at the top of their game, and the game is football, and it brings in a shitload of money. Like they wouldn't spend so much on these players. And don't forget, the players doesn't get all that money for themselves to go and swim about in a gold-plated swimming pool. A lot of that money goes to Newcastle United because they have the player, and it's all sorted out that end. But the English Premier League is one of the most watched sporting things in the world, and I've got to say, like, having travelled the world and being in a bar in Papua New Guinea in the middle of nowhere, and they're showing the English football games, going up a mountain, Kinabalu, in Borneo, Kota Kinabalu, and staying at the little youth hostel thing they've got near the summit, and they had the British football on, they had the Premier League on. Go to Brazil, in Panama, you see it on the TV over there. Like, they're more into baseball, but still, you still see the football on there, and it's the British league. The amount of money that comes in to this country because of the Premier League is insane. It is absolutely insane. So I don't mind if these football teams think that they're worth this amount, then that's what they're worth. And don't forget that it won't last forever. Footballers only have sort of 5-10 years when they're at the top of their game, and then it'll start falling away. But also, this is a game that allows working class kids, like Trent Alexander-Arnold, who I always get his name wrong. Trent Alexander, it's Alexander-Arnold, who grew up around the corner from me in West Derby in Liverpool. You have working class kids like that who end up playing for the country and earning millions. I'm like, oh, good. Well, at least there's a little bit of redistribution of wealth in that respect when these young lads get this money. Where I kind of get a little bit pissed off is the fact that the biggest transfer for a woman, for a female football player, has only been £1 million. £1 million, that's it. And the discrepancy between the man's game and the women's game is just, it's mind-blowing. But yes, Mr. Tisk says, yes, single market ASAP. Yeah. Mr. Tisk, there's a few campaigns that I really want to sort of head up, and who knows if I get into a position where I don't know, I can dedicate some time to doing it. 3 things in particular. I want subtitles on all films in the cinema. Subtitles on. I want people to shut the fuck up. Shut the triple F up. Shut the fortissimo up. FFF. Shut the FFF up. I want noise limiters. I want noise limiters on motorbikes, on cars. I want noise limiters, noise limitations put on airports, flying planes in and out at times, because people who live in like Hounslow in London, I just think it's cruel. I think it's like absolutely horrific for them to have to put up with that level of noise all the time. But also things like vacuum cleaners, fucking Dyson vacuum cleaners, and their stupid, jet propelled hand cleaners, which it's like 120 decibels. It's like standing next to a fucking jet engine, just trying to get your hands clean. I don't use them. I don't use the hand dryers in the toilets anymore. I just wipe my hands on my top, because I'm just like, oh, my trousers. I'm just like, I can't even be dealing with this. I can't be dealing with it. It's too loud. So yeah, I'd like to see some kind of law brought in for noise limitation, because I do think there's a point where it gets ridiculous. But also on the other side of that, I don't want people buying a flat next to a club that's been there for 30 years or 50 years, or in the case of the Blue Angel in Liverpool, 70 years, and then complaining about the noise. That's like, no, piss off. You bought a flat in the city centre right next to a noisy pub or a club. I don't mind noise where, there's a place where there's noise. Deal with it. But someone who bought their house in Hounslow in the 1980s, when there was a fifth of the number of planes flying overhead, and now there's like 5 times as much, that's a bit too much. So yeah, and and the single market. Put us back in the single market. Let's do that as a campaign, as a concerted effort to get people back in. And Kirsty says, yes, I want full rejoin, Schengen, Euro, the full works. Yeah, so do I, Kirsty. So do I. But we've got to take those steps. Once we're back in the single market, things could change very quickly. I'm a hard rejoiner, so I would have the Euro. Yeah, I would have Schengen, and I would have everyone speaking German. I'll tell you that, you gams. I'm joking. But Nick's saying, yeah, focus on single market for now. Yeah. But what I'm saying, Nick, is if we just keep going, fucking hell, Labour, why didn't you say we're going to rejoin the single market? You bastards. They're just going to ignore us. They're just going to ignore us until we get to a point where there's an actual concerted campaign to get into the single market, and it has millions of people behind it. I want real efforts to regenerate our environment, says One Angry Pagan. Yeah, I'd like that as well. Frozen again, so I'm off. Laters. Oh, sorry for freezing. Sorry, I better go. Sorry, Vendetta, for freezing. And like I say, it's just because I'm on mobile data. But hopefully this evening, stateside, come join me for stateside, and we'll talk about what's happening over in the United States of America, whether Trump is dead or not. They're doing a weekend at Bernie's kind of thing going on. Listen, thank you so much for watching. I'll be back this evening at 9 o'clock for stateside. And until then, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the super chats. Katrina, thank you for that mega chat. That was so kind of you. And everybody else who dropped the super chat in today. And thanks for bearing with us through technical issues. But, we get the show out. We get the show out one way or another. So thank you very much for that. And until next time, I'll say thanks for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.